Children, now let us see the advantages of these government companies. First one is easy formation. Listen, the government company can easily be formed under the Companies Act just by an executive decision of the government, whereas the departmental undertaking and the public sector public corporations are should be started with some more legal formalities. They should get the permission from the central and state legislative and other things, whereas these government companies by simply registering themselves under the Companies Act, they can be formed easily. Next one is internal autonomy. The government company has the complete independence, that is, it can act more or less like a private company. So it is independently, it can manage its affairs. It is relatively free from ministerial control and political interference in the day-to-day activities and decision making, whatever it is. Next one is private participation. See, the government, through these government companies, the government may also seek the assistance from the foreign countries about the technical know-hows, experience, expertise, and suggestions, advices. Anything can be get from abroad also. For example, as in the case of Hindustan Steel Limited, it has the technical and financial assistance from Russia, West Germany, and UK. And the Bhilai and Rourkela and Durgapur steel plants have sought the assistance from West Germany and UK. So, in our Neyveli also, some foreign countries have played a vital role in the erection of the plants and other things. Next one, easy to alter. The objectives and powers of the government company can be changed simply by altering the memorandum of association of the company without seeking the approval of the parliament. The next advantage is discipline. The government company is subject to provisions of the Companies Act, which keeps the management of the company active, alert, and disciplined. So it is just like partially the private company. So all the disciplines, code of conducts and timings and everything would be followed strictly as in the case of private companies. So the perfect discipline is maintained when compared to other types of government organizations and other things. Next one is professional management. So the government company can employ professionally skillful, qualified managers and employees also. Its efficiency, managerial skills, and technical expertise would improve several times when compared to other public undertakings, because it has its own personal policies. Next, public accountability. Annual report of the government company is presented to the parliament and state legislature. So these reports can be discussed and debated there. So they would be very vigilant in preparing the accounts and other things. So the manipulations and misuse of money and everything will not be there in case of these government companies. And these are the major advantages of these government companies. Yes, now let us discuss the disadvantages of the government company. First one is directors packed with yes men. It is obvious that directors are appointed directly by the concerned ministry of the government in these government companies. So automatically they would nod their heads for the directions and instructions given by the higher officials, ministers, IAS officers, whoever it is. So they won't have the freedom to take bold decisions against the instructions received from the ministry or whomever it is. The next one is autonomy only in name. It is said in the advantage that the government companies are autonomous and they can function actively without any interference. But in actual practice, there is a lot of interference from the ministry and the minister's office and from the government to which it is attached. That is, whether it is a state government or whether it is attached with the central government. So these excessive interactions and interference by the government will hinder the growth of these government companies. A fraud on the Companies Act and the constitutions. It is fun. There is said that these government companies need not completely follow all the provisions by the given by the Companies Act. That is, they can modify any provisions of the Companies Act by some slight modifications under slight approval from the government. So it is usually said that the parliament is not taken into confidence while creating the government company. Next one is fear of exposure. See, it is said, it is clear that the accounts and other functions and what are the activities of a company, government company, should be placed before the parliament of the state or the state legislative or the central, the parliament or the state legislature. So the working of the company is completely exposed to press criticism, and the opposition parties will also look keenly into the matters and other things. So the board of directors, though they have the powers, they would not go for any innovative or that is modern techniques and other things, because of the fear that if any loss happen to the company will be directly criticized by the other people like general public and opposition parties and the press and other things. Next one is lack of expertise in deputationist. Usually in these government companies, the government would deputate some directors and other people from one company to another company. So such deputationist may lack expertise in management skill and other things. So which will not help in the maximizing the that is profitability of these government companies. Then selfish functioning. These board of directors and the higher officials of these government company would neither serve the country or government or for the public. That is, they would work only for their own personal gains and the benefits and other things, which will not in any case help the company to grow well. So these are the major disadvantages of this government company. Now let us see some examples of government company in India. Coal India Limited, which has the headquarters in Kolkata. Steel Authority of India, New Delhi. Gas Authority of India, New Delhi. And Tamil Nadu State Transport Corporation Limited, Chennai.